listeners. Welcome to the Otafest Podcast. This is episode number 10 of the new season. I'm Jay.
I'm Alfred.
This is G.
And we're here to talk a little bit of Otafest right off the bat. So let's start with Alfred.
Oh, wow. Threw it to me quick. Okay,
Yeah.
anyways. Otafest Pocket returns with our White Day event on March 14th. It will be held at the Art Commons building in downtown Calgary inside the Engineered Air Theatre. Attendance fees are by donation. So whether it's $2, $5, or $20, you can have a great time with your fellow Otafest community members at a price you can afford at our mini event on March 14th. So, it's not just showings. I think we'll have a few games and stuff set up as well.
Yeah,
so.
like primarily it will be showings, especially kind of like later on. But we're gonna try to have some interactive activities.
Yep.
For people who don't know what White Day is, it's kind of like the reciprocal event to Valentine's Day in Japan.
So the girls buy the guys' stuff. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's.
But you don't have to engage in that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not even just Japanese. I think it's like Asia.
I think it's a very Asian custom.
Yeah,
I've heard it's not just
a little bit.
Korea
I think
as
it's
well,
really
I
well
think.
known in
Yeah,
Japan.
I think it's pretty popular in Korea as well. Just a reminder that the applications for the following are open: general volunteering, maid cafe, sketch drive, artist alley and exhibitors hall, AMV contest. For in-depth information, visit otafest.com and get your applications in today. And finally, a friendly reminder to pick up an Otafest 2017 weekend pass online for only $50 before March 15th. That's $10 off the door price. We'll see you all at the TELUS Convention Center on June 30th. So yeah, that's basically wraps it up. We're kind of in a weird spot right now in terms of planning Otafest. It is about like 3 or 4 months away, but we do have other events coming up, like other pocket events. So there's this one, and we have some other...
Calgary Expo coming up.
Yeah, we have Calgary Expo coming up.
And
Suricon will be up at Suricon.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It's like people are like, well, those are other cons. Is like, why would that keep you like super busy, even though it's not your event? And the truth is like, everything that we have to be a part of, we have to think about. How we want to interact with our patrons and stuff. We're working on. We always work on new stuff.
We're working
and this
on
even
something
means
new.
Our promotional table.
Yeah, we're working on something new for our presence at other cons. Let's just put it that way. So come out to Expo. You'll see some new things at our booth. So I'm pretty excited about what's going to be happening.
There's going to be a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, a lot of new stuff. So
yeah, well, I mean, with the White Day, this is the first time we're doing something for that, and hope you guys enjoy it.
We're mostly going to be screening like romantic type animes as well. So a lot of
it'll be a fun time.
Yeah,
even if you're like, well, I don't really love slice of life, romantic shit. And I can understand that, like, if you don't want to be overwhelmed by that kind of stuff. Like, honestly, it's just about having fun, seeing people, and, like, if it's, like, a funny anime, for example.
Yeah, we'll throw in some parodies as well, like Gaku and Handsome or something has got me in there. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's going to be good times.
Yeah. Anyways, interesting bit of news that we have to talk about. Sorry, I'm just dancing around it.
We're all a little bit like...
I'm kind of like just
on pins and needles about
tugging on my shirt right now. It's just like, should we talk about this or no? No, but I think it's cool.
It's extremely current. it really pertains to our industry in general.
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah, or like the greater internet culture, I guess.
Yes.
So PewDiePie, who I didn't know was actually contracted to Disney to do like web content.
I didn't hear
with them.
about that either.
I didn't even know that, right? But apparently,
I believe it's because they're under Maker.
I don't know. What that is.
Maker is kind of like almost like Disney's version of like an indie source project.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, there's a whole bunch of YouTubers under a company who's under Disney.
Yes,
right.
So it's like a chain. So PewDiePie is under Disney through this chain.
But he was.
But
surprisingly, Disney does not like certain opinions.
Yeah, Disney just it's kind of odd. Well,
opinion, I don't know.
Okay, you know what?
It's not an opinion. It was an off-color. It was an off-color joke.
Exactly. All right.
Basically,
let's point it out.
PewDiePie was making Nazi jokes. He was making he did this thing where there's a website, I can't remember the name of it right now, that basically if you're let's say an indie performer or something like that, or you're an indie artist, or you have something to offer in terms of like the crafting type of stuff, what you can do is contract out your work on an individual contract through this website. It's kind of just like let's say you do woodworking. Hey, I need someone who does woodworking. I'm going to pay you $50 per piece. That's the price that we've agreed on, or something like that. Or
right.
And literally, that's how we do it. Well, he kind of went through this service, and he also just found like random homeless people, from what I understand, and he gave them money to like hold up like Hail Hitler signs and like I hate Jew signs and stuff like that.
See,
and he took pictures of them and he's just like, ha ha ha, look how funny this is. Look at what I can make people do for money.
Mm-hmm. Was that seriously the gist of the joke?
Yes.
Okay, that's even more pathetic than I initially thought it was. Like, I thought it was like people sent him stuff to laugh at.
No.
And he tended to laugh at that stuff, or...
No,
but it was
from
just
what I understand is he paid people to hold the signs, and then it was like, look at society, how corrupt it is. You can pay somebody to do anything.
Oh, deep, fucking deep.
I know,
man.
right?
Here's the thing. Trolling is a art. Okay, so
it's a art. The truth is like, look, we make fun of things all the time, like tragedies and stuff. Like, I don't mean we as in like me, Alfred, and G. I mean
sometimes
we as a whole
as
of humanity. Like that's a huge part of of comedy. And you know what? I understand that can be offensive. I really do.
Yeah, but the best comedy I feel always uses something offensive or shocking to make a social commentary.
Exactly.
Right?
It's all about context.
Yeah.
And it's about like comedic timing is a real thing.
Yeah, and if you fail, and even if you fail the social context part, and this is why satire is so hard to do properly, you failed the joke. The joke's not funny if you haven't got some sort of bite to it.
Basically, if you have to explain the joke.
Yeah.
Like this is not talking about just like what PewDiePie said. Is if you have to explain the joke, if you have to point out that it's satire, basically what you've done is you've A, ruined your attempt at a joke because you're bad at it, and B, all you do is look like an actual asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because people think you're being serious about something that you're trying to be jokingly poking fun at, but because you did such a horrible job, everybody thinks you're being serious, and now everybody thinks you're a dick.
Yeah, and exactly, and you get dropped by Disney.
Yeah,
which is
essentially what happened.
Here's the thing: stupid, just so dumb. It's like, how do you not? You are contracted with Disney. How do you not?
You know your reach as well.
You,
like, that's
you
the
do.
thing. Like it's not even just the Disney thing. Like you know what you have. What is it? Like 50 million subscribers or something like that, right? Like it's not like you're someone who's just starting off and you're like, well, maybe I can incorporate some of this into like. No, your audience comes to you for a very specific thing, and unfortunately for you, it's not Nazi jokes.
Yeah, exactly, and it's
because I know for a fact some of the smaller personalities online have made comments like this before in the past, most likely, and it's probably been brushed off because it's like, oh, A, you're a smaller person, so no one's going to really hear about it, and B, you're not contracted to Disney.
Or maybe that's what you want, like, even if you're starting off, maybe that's what you want to build your brand on, is, like, sometimes you have some offensive humor, right?
Yeah.
And obviously with PewDiePie, like, he gets the whole, like, raging kind of personality.
From what I hear, though, his videos lately have been very different than his early ones, where it hasn't really been, like, I just scream at video games.
He's growing as an artist.
Yeah, or something like that. But it's clearly not. He has a few missteps. And a lot of people are saying, okay, it's not fair to him that, like, oh, he makes one little mistake and he gets dropped by Disney and gets eviscerated and stuff. It's like...
It's not really a little mistake,
It's not a little mistake,
And it probably wasn't just one, because he made more than one video with...
Like, I'm sorry, you had to think about this. You had to pay money to multiple people to make this joke, and you ran with it.
That's the thing about bad choices. I want to talk, like, in general, like... Let's say you're on a diet and you're like, I really want McDonald's, right? But going to McDonald's, like, if you cheat on your diet and you go to McDonald's, like, it's not just about, I want McDonald's and that's the bad choice. It's about putting on your jacket, putting on your shoes, taking out your wallet, like literally, like being in McDonald's, thinking about what menu item you want to order. There's this whole thing. It's not just he just walked by one day and he happened to have a sign that came out of nowhere that says I hate all Jews or something like that, and saw a homeless guy and be like, oh, I have $5. This sign that came out of nowhere. I'm just gonna make this bad choice now.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
not how it comes together.
And record it.
There was pre-planning for everything in that process, and nowhere along the pre-planning did it hit him that, hey, this is probably not a good idea.
Yeah, and exactly. Again, it's all about context. And you know what? I'm not even going to say that Disney is like, I wouldn't say like, like they make jokes like that, but they like some of their movies do have very adult humor, some of the Marvel movies and stuff, right? But this is still crossing a line. You can't deny that, right?
Yeah. There is a little bit of irony though, because I'm not sure if you're like completely aware about like Walt Disney himself.
Yeah, who
was not he
was not a great human being, really.
Yeah, he was
in many regards.
I believe he was an anti-Semite, or he was something close.
Like he was many things.
Yes.
He really There's a really famous story. I can't recall the names exactly, but he did have one of his lead animators. He accused him of being a communist in the middle of McCarthyism to get him fired. Basically, and it was not because he was a communist. It was either because he was a Jew or he was gay. One of the two.
And you know what? You could frame that as like that's different times and like different eras.
Yeah,
and stuff.
but
like that, like you know, like looking back, you can't look. All I'm gonna say is
it's
like
a more
like I'm sure we all have like racist grandparents or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what you have to look at. But I mean, there's a little bit of irony there where it's like
there
this whole PewDiePie thing.
There is, but I mean, like it's a warts and all approach, right? I mean, like Warner Brothers, for instance, right? Like some of the old Bugs Bunny cartoons are super racist, right? And like
absolutely.
Like,
like, there's like a lot of blackface going on.
Oh god,
just cartoons in general. When you go back,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
holy crap.
racism in them.
Yeah. Well, I think I know what you're saying. They have a disclaimer.
They have a disclaimer at the very
cartoons.
and on their old cartoons, and at the very front they say, like, you know, for us to erase this from history is to say that it didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
And we have
it
to
doesn't reflect the current views
of the company, and we
we
can't erase it because it's to say that it didn't happen, and we have learned from these. So this is presented as is, warts and all, right? And that's, I think, is the best approach to it, right?
Yeah,
but again,
that's truly important because it's to acknowledge that this did happen. Like, it's not a good thing, but I mean, it happened, and we learn from it. We learn from our mistakes, essentially.
Whereas, you know,
and you know what? Seriously, PewDiePie, he is not going to lose subscribers over this. I'm pretty sure he's going.
Well, it's not going to like he's going to slam down to like
Here's
10 million subscribers.
No,
Instead
nothing
of
like that.
yeah.
He's going to lose some subscribers because some people are going to react in the way of, oh my god, I can't believe he did this. I'm never watching his stuff
But he's going to be business as usual after this.
But the thing is, like,
business as usual.
look, his raw numbers probably aren't going to get hurt.
No.
But what is hurt is his credibility. Something that's intangible and you cannot measure. But the truth is, like, people will tune him out more often. Although they just won't unsubscribe from his channel.
Right, and it's interesting because a lot of people initially, for PewDiePie especially, were like, oh, he's not even that funny. He just yells at video games, right? And then, like, he's kind of crafted his videos to be a little more clever over time, and then now it's kind of just like, okay, well, maybe he's not that clever, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it takes a lot to build a reputation.
No, it does, but I mean, like, you're going to make mistakes, but again, this is a pretty damn big mistake.
Not a mistake.
This is a series of bad decisions.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't just
There
one
is, like,
video
a-
either. I believe it was like 3 videos.
I don't even know.
And there was like a history, like apparently he's had a small history of making like comments like that before on like Twitter or something like that. I'm not entirely guess what? I don't follow him because I already yell at video games. I don't need someone else. I don't need
Well,
someone
no,
else to
it's kind of
yell at
interesting
video
though
games.
because we're starting to see other YouTubers kind of go this route. Like, I mean, obviously there's like, you know, Filthy Frank, right? Where everyone like is like, oh my god, Filthy Frank is just so offensive. He's so funny.
But
and
that's
stuff.
his brand.
But that's his brand,
And he understands how to deliver the joke.
yeah, and sort of, and he also like it's absurdist for one thing, right?
Sure.
And it's like there is a whole mythology to it, which is really freaking weird. But it's like the whole personality is just like he presents it as like you don't want to be this person. You do not want to be Filthy Frank.
Yes.
And yet people don't get it, right? So I think, like, again, this is why I think PewDiePie's gonna be just fine. He's like, they won't get why he's being eviscerated for his bad decisions, right?
Yeah.
But again, like, other YouTubers are kind of jumping on this whole, like, oh, like, you know, let's be super offensive right wing and like let's make this funny. Like H3H3 Productions lately have had like how to trigger SJWs in one step, okay, or freaking JonTron, who was the next person we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
This I didn't know too much about, so you guys are more or less the...
Can I start off with a funny
knowledgeable.
story first?
Sure, yeah.
So I was talking with John Wheeler, who is, as you guys know, Proton John,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And this
He
is
will
like-
be back, by the way. He will be back on another episode pretty soon.
We're planning to have him on.
Sometime.
Oh, actually, you know what?
You can say
Fuck
it.
it. It's
You can
our
say it.
podcast.
You can say it.
So yeah, he's going to be on next episode with us. We're going to do almost a Let's Play episode if we can manage it. Hopefully it'll work out.
Yep.
But you know, in order before that, like I was just talking with him, and this is right around the time that JonTron also made his remarks against the Women's March. That was like post Trump inauguration
God,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. And I was just like ha ha ha, like, hey, it's super famous JonTron. Like when I just talked to him, like just like really quickly, and just like, you probably shouldn't be making those comments. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, he said some stuff on like Twitter. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, I don't follow.
Yeah.
I looked on Twitter. I'm like, oh, smart.
He's one of those people.
So like the first thing I had to say was just like, yeah, first of all, I'm kind of sorry, but I didn't know. And B, I hope you haven't caught any flack, like some misdirected bullshit at you because of the whole similar naming situation.
Yeah.
And he's just like, thankfully, no. But
he doesn't want to be associated with that, right?
No.
Yeah, and
no, John's a really good dude.
But and this is the thing, I don't get it, right? Like, okay, when Game Grumps, the first generation Game Grumps, like broke up, right? It was Aaron like ditched John, right?
Basically, well, there was. I don't want to get too much into it, but there was like rumors about,
but like they had political disagreements.
In general.
Political disagreements was part of it.
Sure.
Was what Aaron said, I think, right? And we're starting to see that, you know, like, and it's just kind of mind blowing to me because this guy is first generation Persian. His parents are from Iran, right? And yet he's like very vehemently pro-Trump, which is kind of like, interesting to me.
Isn't
I don't know.
Sean Spicer also, where people were calling him out on like, you know, saying the things that he's done for like, you know, for the White House press, because they were like, your grandparents were immigrants, dude. Like, like, do you know what you're saying right
no,
now? Like,
okay, well, Sean Spicer has no idea what he's saying.
This is
half
true.
the time.
This is
so,
true.
I mean, like, could they have picked...
And the truth is he's being told what to say.
No, he's being told what to say, but goddamn, could they have picked anyone more unlikable than Sean frickin' Spicer? Holy crap, he has such a punchable face.
I mean,
when I see him.
Can you just look at any of the personalities, so to speak, that are
behind the Trump
organization that keep going on television,
no
talking
kidding.
about fake news.
God,
my favorite
Kellyanne
thing,
Conway and stuff. Yeah,
my favorite thing just on. I know we're getting away from the whole JonTron thing, but just another thing on the White House, like Justin Trudeau recently visited the White House.
Oh God, the handshake!
Like,
the handshake.
First of all, his counter handshake moves so on point.
Oh man,
this was an analysis video where it was just like, how does he counter like the weird like pull and grab thing that Trump does, where it's like kind of spastic, and it's like, well, first of all, he has like a pretty strong grip himself, and second of all, he balances himself by holding on to like Donald Trump's shoulder, not like holding on, but like he just kind of like subtly just like, like a nice handshake where he's one hand's holding the shoulder and the other one's like shaking the hand, so it's very like it looks very smooth. And the other thing is that I didn't think it was going to be like as funny as it was, but like the whole Ivanka Trump, how she was watching Justin Trudeau the whole time.
Dude, but that's like every woman who sees Justin Trudeau.
But there's like,
I mean, like it's a meme, right?
I'm guessing it's a new meme, or like probably on Tumblr or something, where it's like married woman and Trudeau, how they just like stare at him. But then someone pointed out, it's like, have you seen the way that Trudeau stared at Obama? With the same like dreamy like.
Yo, come on.
And there was all those Joe Biden memes.
Everybody looked at Obama like that.
Well, there was no Joe Biden looked at Obama like that.
Yeah.
Yo, the Joe
Biden meme is the best thing too. Oh my gosh.
The Joe Biden memes are
like
great.
The best bros.
Did you watch? Have you seen like the one where he received the Presidential Medal of
or something like that? Yeah.
Like I sorry, dude, I'm not American. I don't know all.
Yeah, no, but
but that ceremony, A, was like tops, and B, like that's like serious bro.
He is went for a bro hug
right there.
But no, dude, Joe Biden is so brazen sometimes, and I love it because like, okay, the day after the election happened, and Obama the night before said that, you know, no matter the outcome, the sun will rise the next day, right, and we will have a new president. The next day, of course, everyone's super depressed. The press sitting in front of the lawn is just like, oh wow, you know, and Obama's like, you know, it's like, and I'm sure Mr. Trump will do his job to the best of his ability. And then Joe Biden draws the cross,
that's right,
like in full view at the press. It was so good. I was like,
he's like subtle but good,
not subtle at all. It wasn't even subtle because everyone laughed.
No, but the thing is, he didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything. That was the important part. Yeah. Anyways, back to JonTron. So,
he made some comments about.
It's not even just the comments on the Women's March. You know, he's been consistently like unapologetic for a lot of his actions when called out on, and he hates like quote unquote PC culture and SJWs quote unquote. Right?
I'm like, okay. First of all, I have to say that I am also against that. Like the
brand of social justice that Tumblrina has tried to enforce on people.
There is such a thing as
going too far
in any direction.
Yes.
And there's always the thing where it's like the right place at the right time.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you are PC or anti-PC. You have to be aware of, again, your surroundings. That's how you make jokes, is that you're aware of your audience, you're aware of the situation. It just goes back to all of that. Like, it's a social awareness level.
Right.
That you want to hit.
And but the thing is, it's not even like, he wasn't even making a joke. Like, he once called someone the R word, right?
Yes.
And like, completely unironically, you know, and someone was like, you know, you should probably apologize for that, right? And he basically went on a 3-page Twitter rant about why he had the right to say what he wanted to say and call people no matter like if it hurt their feelings or not, and he refused to apologize. And then like his fans jumped all over these people, right? You know, and then like, okay, dude, if someone's offended by something, right? And here's the thing about getting offended.
Get to decide why they're
offended. Okay, first of all, yeah, you don't get to decide why someone else is offended. Okay? Secondly, how freaking hard is it when you have millions of fans who will back you up for anything you say, right? Just to say sorry.
To look like a better person.
I don't
Even
get
if you're
it,
a worse person in private, which a lot of us are.
Yeah.
That's the actual truth.
You have a public persona as well, right? And you have millions of fans who will like bow at your feet to say, look at him, he was so on point with that. You don't look at him.
Don't you want to be known as that person who's like,
who is altruistic and owns up to their mistakes instead of being this asshole who goes off the deep end, which is what he did, right?
But that's the thing, though. Even though he did that, there's still a ton of people out there who are like, nope, he's right. No matter what, he's right.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
that's the scary thing about fans.
And that's the scary thing about fans, right? Like, but I want to say, okay, like, with his recent kind of like outbursts, I know he's lost a lot more subscribers than, like, say, PewDiePie has, right? Because PewDiePie made a mistake with his bad jokes, right? This guy, JonTron,
he's not making jokes.
He's not making jokes. He's serious about his beliefs, and he is hanging on to them and vehemently defending them and saying that anyone who disagrees with them is
Ask Me Anything. I think either this weekend
God.
like.
I don't want to see it. I already know how it's going to go.
It's scheduled coming up or whatever. And I'm just like, look, I just don't think that you can justify yourself.
No.
Like, you can't justify it because you don't understand where the line is.
No, exactly. And something I also want to mention, like, there's some other YouTubers out there who are pretty like fringe. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like alt-right, yeah, no, like full on alt-right. Like, it's huge on YouTube. You know, okay, so we got InfoWars. So we got you.
That's huge.
Sorry, I can't shrink my hands right now. Like, but it's okay. There's InfoWars and Breitbart who are like, you know, like the mainstream alt-right. But then you got the fringe like conspiracy freaks, right? Like Sargon of Akkad and like the pseudo-intellectual.
Are we getting
side.
into like 9/11 was a?
Oh yeah,
or
holy crap!
Moon landings,
9/11, but it's also like, you know,
contrails.
Like, no, it's not me that. It's like, you know, feminism is a Jewish conspiracy.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, SJWs are out of touch with reality, and like, you know, wage gaps don't exist. You know, sexism does not exist. Capitalism works all the time, 100%. Like, it's that kind of like, I'm not open to other ideas. Flat out, you know.
And can I just want to bring it back to like,
Yeah.
I just don't want to get too deep into the whole like political leanings and everything like that. But the truth is like, why are we talking about this? And I'm going to be honest. One of the big reasons is that I'm going to break the news that, you know, it's not that I was like, I'm a fan of Game Grumps. I was a bit of a fan of John Jafari, but not like, I can't really support that. And guess what?
Exactly.
As being a con, that even if we want to bring in guests and stuff, we're not going to be looking at them anymore. We're not going to.
No, exactly.
We're never going, like. I'm not saying that we had specific plans to ever book him, for example. And this is putting it out there. It's like, well, you know, like, thanks for tipping the hand. It's like, no, this is just, he's hurt his brand. That's one thing. And number two, is just like, we as a community could not
advocate
really support him. We can't advocate for him. We don't want him. Or not, we don't want those people with these ideas that they are right and being hurtful,
right,
to be around. Like, and that's just not something that's going to happen.
A lot of people are going to be like, well, he's entitled to his opinion, and it's not fair to him to discriminate against his opinion, right? As much as SJWs are entitled to their opinion, he's entitled to his.
But that's
we're entitled to ours.
But look, okay? We are entitled to ours, but if you say that women don't deserve equal rights, that's a shitty opinion. And we can shit on that as much as we like. And we can blacklist you as much as we like.
And anybody
because that's our opinion.
we want to bring in, we're essentially saying we endorse this person because we think not only are they good for our fans,
Yeah, like that we want you to
we
have-
want
yeah.
to expose our fans to these individuals that we bring in.
Yeah, exactly. So
And-
if he doesn't line up with our mantra, which sorry, like we are inclusive.
pretty open
We are
group.
open-minded. We are inclusive, right?
Yep.
We don't tolerate harassment on our con grounds. It's built into our policies, right? For God's sake, we released a rainbow O-wing in support of LGBT and
it's
allies,
actually,
right?
I think it's. I could be wrong, but I think it's either the most popular, or like most best.
It is, and every single time that pin comes out, it sells out. So that should tell you the leanings of our community, and we're proud of that, right? So again, like the fact that we're sitting here talking about how we're never going to get JonTron as a guest
And I
means
kind
that
of
he
don't
has
have a
hurt
problem
his
with that.
and yeah, me neither. And that means that he has hurt his brand, right? And he has lost subscribers and he has lost credibility.
And I want to put this out there as well for like, because you know what the truth is, a lot of people don't see like the both sides, like, you know, when you have the public figure versus like the private figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as event managers and people who bring in guests and stuff like that, and I see this at Calgary Expo, I see like like, you know, you hear about guests who are divas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the truth is, they might be divas, but when you're in line getting your autograph or your photo with them, they just put on their little smile and their little dance and act and stuff, and that's fine because guess what? They are
selling an experience.
Selling that experience of, you know, you meeting them, so on and so forth, in a positive light. And if they're total assholes in like, you know, behind the scenes, that's for the con staff to deal with. But the moment that they're going to be a total asshole the whole time, that's just not going to fly.
No, exactly. And
that's exactly why.
And like, you know, cons have dropped guests before, right? It happens, especially for things like this, right? So
Disney ain't the only group that can drop a contract.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard of it all the time. There's been many cons in the past before that some celebrity just didn't line up with their stuff, so they're just like, yeah, no, we dropped this person.
Right.
And the truth is, like, you know what? Sometimes it might hurt us. It's not like we can't ban everybody, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. But as long as they're kind to you guys, then we can deal with them being assholes in private. But we're not going to deal with
them being assholes in public and so off the deep end as well. And by the way, just to add a little cherry on top, so Sargon Avocad, I mentioned him. He is again, like a fringe YouTuber who is very, very, very much alt-right. He calls himself an anarcho-capitalist, meaning that like capitalism will solve everyone's problems, basically. Right? Like that's a massive
pure, like what you're saying is like
pure capitalism.
Pure capitalism, like literally every person.
So this guy has basically never Googled the term poverty. He hates poor people. He hates SJWs for even attempting to address social issues. He hates feminism because he doesn't feel women are unequal, and he thinks feminists are whiners. And JonTron spent about 3 hours talking with this guy. There's 2 1.5-hour podcasts of like an interview with JonTron with this fringe alt-right guy, right? Like that's so far off the deep end and so off the like the spectrum to like what we're used to with JonTron. And it's just like he's not only dished his whole like, you know, video game shtick now, right? He's doubled down on the whole.
He's unapologetic.
Unapologetic. No, not only just unapologetic, he's proud of it.
Yeah,
and that's the problem here, right? Like. Dude, how many million people, like especially in the political climate now, right, can tell you that, you know, your views are problematic, right? And it just boggles my mind. And I think he also said that he was in support of the Muslim ban as well. And this is coming from a guy whose parents are from a Muslim country and
are very like
and
very
would
likely.
not, and he would not be allowed to come back into the country if like the Muslim ban was still happening and stuff, right? So, like, that just kind of boggles my mind.
Yeah,
it's pretty
stuff
insane.
like that just honestly boggles the mind.
And you know, people have been speculating maybe he's got some like depression or like some other issue that's causing him to lash out or something. Like it's just so off the radar, off kilter. Yeah.
Anyways, I think we are going to wrap up on that topic.
Yeah,
it's not something that we usually do. Is
yeah.
like expressly have this like, I don't know, heavy package for you guys.
Social and political.
Yeah, but at the same time, we should address it because by not talking about it, we're basically saying it doesn't exist.
Yeah, this is where our stance is. It exists, and this is where our stance
right now. We need to address it and be yes, this is good, or no, this is bad.
And again, like on the whole, like what we do as Otafest organizers and event organizers, we realize kind of like it's just we're trying to show you that we realize like we're trying to be aware of who it is that we bring in. We do.
Exactly. And we do a lot of research on guests before bringing them in, always. So
even if, like sometimes whether they're a big name or a small one, like they have to fall in line with what we want you guys to experience in terms of like having a good time.
Yeah.
Right?
Or
we don't want you to spend your money to like see some guy who's going to call you like names and
exactly.
hate you even in private.
Yeah, or like, common sense or common human decency. But that's my opinion.
It's not so common anymore.
So that was, oh God, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was a really, really, really roundabout way of saying we're never getting JonTron. So,
we're not going to get people...
And he could be like, well, I was never going to go to Otafest anyways. It's like, that's not really the point.
That's nice, bro. That's nice. You can go to your Breitbart Con or whatever, and you can rant about stuff there. Anyways, on to more...
Can I talk about something that I'm not sure if I'm super salty about it yet?
Okay.
I want to talk about more Zelda, because that's clearly all
You're salty
I know
about the Zelda DLC.
So... yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not sure if I'm 100% salty on it yet.
Here's the thing.
It's weird.
I can see where you would be salty about this, and I can see where a lot of people out there like, what's going on, Nintendo? What are you doing with this?
Why does DLC exist before the game's being released?
Yeah, no kidding. But I mean,
that's the number one thing. I know you want to call it a season pass, and other games have season passes.
Yeah.
That's not the problem. The problem is like
Nintendo's doing it. That's the problem.
No. Well, that's not even the issue.
Really?
It's really not. Like, because when it comes to like, people are like, well, shit, like Nintendo is going to make people pay for online now. I have faith in that because that can really potentially make a better service. Like when you feed money into a program, guess what? When you're giving an organization capital, it means that they can in turn provide better resources.
Yeah, they can put more effort and resources into the product to make it better.
So, but the thing is with like season pass or DLC and stuff, I tend to think of it as something that comes along later in its life. And the way that it's supposed to work is you're supposed to go in on March 3rd when the Switch is released and the game is released, and you have an option of buying this $20, I think US, so it's probably going to be about $30 for Canada. And it's going to include DLC that doesn't come out immediately. It comes out in the summer, and then another round in the winter. You're paying for two things. Like that's why it's called season pass. It's gonna carry out over, and that's great in that regard. But why are you introducing it now? Why can't you introduce it like regular DLC? I'm complaining about marketing.
You mean like right when it was announced, basically?
Yeah, basically it's the timing of the announcement.
It's not just like, why couldn't you just say we're gonna have DLC? But why are you trying to sell me DLC for like I just spent $500. On this. Why are you making me spend another $30 off the bat?
Here's the thing. There's marketing reasons behind stuff like that. With the selling of DLC, when people go in to buy something and they look at a game that they're going to buy, in this case Legend of Zelda, they're already going to drop money on the game. Perfectly fine. So people are like, okay, I'm going to buy this game and I'm going to have a great time and the game's going to be great. Now, on a marketing side, you look at it and they're like, well, if we later announce that we're going to have DLC at this price, whatever it may be, people will take a look at those prices and be like, maybe I'm still into this game, maybe I'm not. And then that will judge their decision of whether or not they want to buy the DLC.
Okay.
However, if you have the DLC packaged with the sale of the initial game, more people will inherently buy that DLC.
So, no, but the thing is though, like, is there going to be like a day one all DLC edition? Because that's usually what Call of Duty does. It's usually what Assassin's Creed. Yeah, it's a season pass, but like they also have like not just a season pass. They have like the game plus, like a physical copy with everything on it.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's going to be a physical copy with the game plus everything on it. I think it's
just be like a code unlock kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's just. Like, and what about people? Like, there is a what do you call it? Like a collector's edition.
Yep.
Okay.
And I if I were a collector's edition buyer, which I am not, I would feel a bit slighted on that.
I would too, because as
again on a day one release, you should be.
Not only that, usually collector's editions come with a season pass included in it.
This is true.
No,
usually a lot of them do. If you buy the digital
price
version,
is varied from time to time, from reasonable to ridiculous. Star Wars,
yeah,
Battlefront comedy.
Battlefront, yeah.
Even Street Fighter comedy. But there's a big thing about packaging DLC with the initial sale of the game. On a marketing side, people tend to buy it more.
I do understand.
Which is why
It's kind of like the impulse buy, and I understand that part. I'm kind of really... The other thing I'm questioning is like, Zelda, as I know it, and this is supposed to be a whole new Zelda, like with new ideas and how we're going to play. And I'm excited about it. I am. But is this a game I want to pick up again in the wintertime, like 6 months after release, 8 months after release?
But that's the main thing. People have to consider their decisions a lot more nowadays when they're buying stuff like this.
Games to me that have replayability are the ones that you're either like Skyrim has replayability even though it's not multiplayer, or it's a multiplayer game that changes every time that you kind of play it.
Or like branching story paths and stuff.
Right? Yeah. But I don't know what Zelda's exactly trying to accomplish. Like they're saying that the game's bigger than Skyrim and stuff like that.
Well, it's open world, right?
But it doesn't necessarily change how the game's going to play. Like Skyrim's DLC is massive in that they add new sections of maps. They're adding a new dungeon in the Winter DLC. They've confirmed, but a dungeon isn't really a whole lot. A dungeon is maybe an hour of gameplay. Whereas like Skyrim added like with the Hearthfire, something like that.
Yeah.
They added like
houses.
They had housing systems, how you interacted with NPCs.
Getting married and stuff.
Yeah. Dawnguard added a whole new area and like new enemies like vampires and stuff. It was like insane. Like DLC and season passes to me is like it's not an hour endeavor. It's like 30 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
No, because you base it off how much you're paying, right?
Yeah.
And also, when you consider there have been games that have released DLC that has come out later than the game was initially released with...
like you look at Diablo, for example.
Well, yeah, Diablo.
But that was an expansion.
That was an expansion, not a DLC. Whereas...
What is the difference?
Okay, an expansion is a full price thing that is released, whereas a DLC is not a full price.
I think expansion's full length is the difference here. So
it's intended to be the length.
It's intended to be full length, yeah, or at least
the
slightly.
Length of the content,
or at least.
I guess like I understand that like DLC can range from like here's a costume to like here's a whole map.
Yeah,
or like here's some new stories.
So you could say that expansion is a type of DLC, whereas DLC is
at this point
all encompassing.
Sure, at this point, yeah, but I mean like Diablo's expansion got physical releases.
Yep,
is the difference there as well. So
that's how Blizzard likes to do, though.
Yeah, but like I don't know, it's kind of interesting to me because like everyone's got this like hate on for DLC, but yet some people speak very highly of certain DLC.
Yes,
like,
perfect example of
Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 3,
yeah,
which was kind of needed, but that's
okay. That's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
But like,
here's a perfect example though: Witcher 3.
Yeah, Witcher 3, Bloodline. Yeah,
Witcher 3 came out, like amazing game on its own. Later on, they came out with DLC for it.
There's 3 things. There's Blood and Wine. No, is it just 2? There's Blood and Wine and...
Well, if you want to count Gwen's one, but...
No.
Yeah.
There's I just can't remember the name of them, but yeah, there's like 2 or 3 DLC packs, which are fucking amazing.
Because each of those DLC packs are amazing in the amount of content they give you.
Yeah, here Blood and Wine's like
and that's
substantial.
DLC done to the extreme and done really well.
Yeah. So I guess the line's getting blurred. So but keep in mind those cases are outliers, though, right?
They're very much.
I'm just trying to decide, honestly. Like, I don't know whether I'm going to pick it up. It's not like I can't afford $30. Right. The problem is like, do I see myself playing this game in past September?
Honestly, the biggest problem I see with this is any DLC nowadays that is sold before the game is even out
tends to be pretty disappointing.
It's not worth it.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying though. Like that's why I don't like it in general. Like the concept of DLC being released with the game release, because to me that's just why didn't you put it in the game?
Yeah, exactly.
There's 2 big things with that. One, why is this not already included in the game? If you're selling it to me right away, why is it not already there? 2, the companies already have your money if you pay for this DLC. They have no obligation to give you something good at that point because they have your money.
Yeah,
they could very much be like the literal worst content ever, but they'll be like, we already sold it.
But see, like, I also feel that there is a motivation to make good DLC, though. Because keep in mind, game development costs are so high that DLC is now the dominant model, right? Pumping out one AAA game at its $80 price point Canadian, but $60 US.
Yep.
Pumping that out, especially for physical copies and stuff, but you have like a 3 or 4 year development cycle with hundreds of people working on it, like working crunch time. You need DLC to cover those costs, right? So I think eventually the game development costs are going to get so high, we're going to see a motivation for people to put out better and better DLC, reusing the same assets.
I'm
and
still
stuff,
sad.
Right? I don't know. Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
No, but seriously though, I've seen some really cool DLC that I'm actually looking forward to. Like,
I agree with you. There's some really cool DLC.
What is the best DLC you've ever played?
Citadel was great for Mass Effect 3, but again, that was kind of needed. Uncharted 4's new DLC looks really rad. But The Last of Us had a really good one. Very meaningful story for that one too.
I think the best for me is still probably, and this is like old school, probably Diablo 2's like expansion is like Lord of Destruction is still one of the best DLC packs I've ever played.
Yeah,
and that's to say that like
agree with that.
It's not to say that like, you know, obviously Witcher doesn't have great ones and stuff like that. It's just like it added this whole new dimension to the game, and the way that they did their patching is like once they released 1.10, I think it was back in the day, like that patching is a form of DLC if you add enough like, you know, features or whatever, and the whole synergy system with skills. Like that, to me, that to this day is still like one of the best RPG style games.
Taken King for Destiny. That was
yeah, I heard a lot of this stuff about
that. Like
I heard that totally turned that game around.
Yeah, it totally did. Like
it revived.
It basically revived the game. Yeah. So it's kind of like you would almost think it's like what was the one for Final Fantasy 14?
The original?
No. Realm Reborn, right?
Okay, the thing with that was Final Fantasy 14, they released the game initially. And 1.0 was so bad, everybody complained about it. But their fans, there were still a lot of people out there who paid for it. And essentially the game was so bad, even the developers were like, what have we done? And they essentially destroyed that world. Even storyline-wise, they even went in and destroyed the world.
Yeah. I know that.
They went in and redid everything, re-released it. That's why it was called A Realm Reborn. And they made so many changes. They improved on so many things. It literally felt like a whole new game.
And that's kind of like Taken King for Destiny. Yeah. Like, sure, there's shooting, right, and loot, but like the systems and everything were revamped completely for Taken King, and even more so for Rise of Iron now. So,
and I will say this for Destiny, initially on original release, it felt like a good shooter.
Yeah.
But that was the problem.
Yeah.
The world was not pulling you in.
People like the game feel, right?
It
but like
felt good, but it didn't draw you in emotionally.
Yeah. And then there was the grind, right?
And it was just the grind.
And then there was the grind, and then Taken King made it so grinding was actually fun. Progression was quicker, right? So
I heard it also improved the story immensely, so it actually
somewhat
made you care about what was going on,
I would
rather
say so,
than just generic things happening because they're evil and we're good.
Yeah,
because we said so.
Talking about like some, I guess like just DLC, but something that kind of happened super recently is that Pokemon Go got a bit of a revival. I think they injected their essentially like Generation 2 Pokemon,
Gen 2,
but around 80 new Pokemon, new being a figurative term. So like, you know, you can
they're new
get
for Pokemon Go, but for
I mean, like if you're an old school fan, like you already know all the Gen 2 Pokemon. So I don't play anymore. I do know people who still play.
Yeah,
a lot of them were trying to fill out their like original 151 Pokedex, which is also weird that I don't understand what their plan is right now, because you can't catch any of the legendary birds yet, and they haven't said anything about Mewtwo. And it's not to say that they're not in the files, because people who have data mined the game have found that like Mewtwo and the birds are in the files, but it's just like you've already released. Impossible. Yeah, you're giving me this like the Gen 2 Pokemon before we're finished Gen 1. Like, what is going to be so special or so amazing that makes me want to, like, I don't have it on my phone anymore, and I'm a huge Pokemon fan. It's not a great game.
Yeah,
it's not a great game. It's a good time waster. You're like, hey, there's a there's a Pokemon that I really like. I want to go catch it, and then you're like, great. But what do you do now if you don't want to battle and stuff? You're like, I don't really care.
So honestly, what I think they should add to it is something like citywide battles, where it's like
this city versus this city.
No, not that. I mean, like there is a legendary Pokemon that shows up in your city, and everybody in the city has to fight this.
So it's almost like how a gym, like a gym battle works.
It would be a gym battle, but it would be all encompassing for the city itself.
It'd be like a raid in WoW.
Essentially, it's a raid.
Yeah, it'd be like a raid. Yeah.
Their original commercial where it was like everybody in Times Square attacking Mewtwo.
Yes,
that it would essentially be that.
That would be sick.
Sure,
yeah.
but they still just haven't done any release. Like I'm just saying that Christmas has passed.
Yeah, the depth of gameplay is just not there still.
Depth of gameplay is not
like.
I'm like when I say I love Pokemon, it's because like I'm not so much of a collector. Like I only like so many, but I'm also like I used to be like super into battling and stuff. The battling system sucks ass.
Yeah. Oh,
it's just
God,
like there is like the whole IV system where it's like some Pokemon are genetically better than other Pokemon. there's like eugenics.
But on the other hand,
the thing is, it's like you're just tapping the screen. You're just going like, hey, can you like attack a little faster? Can you like smack this Magikarp a little bit faster for me?
Swipe
please?
left to dodge.
Yeah.
But that only works if
very,
your phone is like synced up perfectly. If your phone lags a little bit, you'll swipe to dodge, but nothing will happen.
Most phones lag on.
That's the problem with it.
So
Which is why
there's very little depth
in
in the whole like level, the whole experience level thing we've talked about to pieces. Where it's like it's just so much to go into and want to level to like 30 or 40 or I think 50 was the maximum. I don't remember anymore.
Something like that,
But the whole again, it's just.
See, and
I'm not going to do it again. And I don't want to get.
How I rationalize how popular that was that it was a novel concept and nostalgia. And
it
all
is.
That, right?
It is very.
No. But like the thing is, I think so many people were so on board with that game just in the hopes of something better. Right? They got on board for the potential, and the potential was not delivered. And that was the problem.
I will say, like, I had fun in the short time that I had it.
Yeah.
But then it peters out very quickly when you realize that it just takes up so much space on your phone. And
it was a novelty concept.
It was a novelty concept, and it just wasn't executed well. And if it was, and you know what? Instead, because we were kind of crapping on Niantic for a while, for not taking care of their game or whatever. And we're saying, oh, Nintendo would have done it better. Well, Super Mario Run.
Didn't do so
well.
No,
I mean, like
it got a lot of downloads, and that's what. Like,
once again,
the raw numbers are like they look good.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing about mobile stuff, and no one wants to go and change that, right? There's attempts in the past to make mobile gaming kind of serious and stuff, right? But no one wants to go and change this whole.
Some of that is just like that's the audience.
Agreed.
Like,
yeah,
my mom won't play that stuff, man. She's gonna play like Casino Slot Simulator.
And I don't understand that.
Yeah, me neither.
Look, that's not my problem though. That's that's the genre that
as long as there's an audience for it, and people are gonna be releasing that.
Yeah, but dude, there's so many indie games that could work on a phone, but they just like it's just not a market because they won't sell, right? Like I mean, but like there's some fantastic games that actually began as mobile games, right? Like Door Kickers, for instance. That was a great PC game, but it was a mobile game initially, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's like there's a bunch of indie games that I kind of wish had mobile versions, but they don't. Like Binding of Isaac, for instance, right?
That would be a crazy mobile game.
Yeah, but I think there might be an Android version coming or something like that. But yeah, like Binding of Isaac would be amazing.
That'll be interesting,
right?
It's just that's the market, that's the audience.
Yeah, it's a hardcore game. It won't get downloads.
Pokemon Go, in terms of like, maybe there'll be a Pokemon Go 2. Maybe that will be good. Maybe. Our technology will have.
You're throwing a lot of maybes out there.
There's always a lot of maybes.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, you want to talk about any kind of sequel in general?
Hey,
if you look at the most recent mobile game that came out, that was a big hit, so to speak, is Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah, but I mean, again, that's not as in depth as an actual Fire Emblem game.
No,
though.
It's not in depth as an actual Fire Emblem. It's simplified to the extreme. And people are getting to the point where they're just like, yeah, no, I'm bored with this.
Yeah, exactly. So
because it was a fun novel concept, but now they're like, no, I'm done.
Well, I was going to segue into movies because you mentioned sequels, and when have sequels ever been good? John Wick 2.
John Wick 2.
John Wick 2. Holy crap, that movie was good.
I still haven't seen John Wick 1.
Okay,
sorry.
Well,
we will show you.
All you got to know about.
I know there's a dog and a man who is angry about his dog not being a dog anymore.
Yeah, and all you got to know in John Wick 2 is that he gets a new dog, but someone pisses him off, and he goes and kills more people again.
Yes.
That's all you gotta know. That's all you gotta know.
I wish they had like a different name for this movie almost.
John Wick.
Yeah. Like I understand that's the name of the protagonist, but
John Wick 2.
I don't know. Just like Pupper's Revenge.
Oh god, did you see that? Did you see the rocket jump video where it was instead of the dog getting killed, it was John Wick getting killed, and the dog goes on a shooting rampage?
Oh, I have seen that.
I did not see
so
that
good.
one.
Yeah. It's so good.
It's
we'll
really
show you
cute,
after. Yeah. No, but John Wick 2, it doubled down on everything that made the first movie good, and
they amped it up.
And
they
they
made
amped
it
it
that
up.
much better.
I heard some people didn't like it, but I'm not sure. Like I haven't seen the first movie, so I have
If you go
no.
in expecting a very like serious,
It's got so
movie
much depth.
with so much
Yeah.
depth and like so much intrigue and this and that. No. You go to watch this movie is hands down action, excitement, fun.
No, but not even that. But like, okay, the reason I liked the first movie so much was that it built a world, right? The world building was great, and then John Wick Chapter 2 just takes that and runs with it because they only know
They've established
it. They're like, we have a world, it's been established, now let's play in it, right?
These
and
things
I love
exist.
that.
Yeah.
And now we just got exposed to
No,
more
that
of
is
these
good.
things.
Yeah.
And oh my god. Okay. John Wick and John Wick 2 have made me more interested in playing like going around assassin murdery type games.
Like
than,
playing Hitman, for
no,
example?
more than Hitman ever did. Because Hitman is slow, methodical. Even when you go on like
Yeah. That's
killing
true.
sprees in Hitman, you don't feel badass. Just watching John Wick 2, I felt more badass.
Yeah, dude, I walked out of the theater wanting to fight someone.
Right?
Like, you're like Alfred, and you're just like, I have testosterone.
Yeah, no.
He just grew up. He was like, came out with a beard.
The best way I can describe it is that it's like okay. Have you played Hotline Miami?
Yes.
Yeah, you know that feeling you get when you don't die a single time and you clear the level?
Yeah.
That's John Wick 2 all the way through. Or like when you're playing like Assassin's Creed, like one of the newer ones with like, you know, much better combat, or Arkham, right? When you finish off a group of thugs without taking a hit,
Yep.
kind of like that. It's that type of
It's a
satisfaction
nice,
that gives you.
clean run of
Yeah,
masculinity.
it's that satisfaction that gives you. Yeah, but it's interesting because like
You versus 30 guys.
he's so
And you
acrobatic.
take them
Is
all
the
out.
is the are the like I mean like I said I haven't seen any of the movies. I don't know any of the info, but that just reminds me like in a like when you're talking about gaming relation. But I would say that that's the feeling I got when I watched Kingsman's fight scenes, where they're
Yes.
so clean but violent.
John
and they're
Wick.
just
Okay,
so
John
well
Wick.
choreographed.
in
And you're just like,
Kingsman,
bam, bam, bam.
You
bam.
remember the church scene?
I can't forget the church scene.
Imagine that for an entire movie.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
like,
essentially John Wick.
dude, the scene in the catacombs.
Also, I would
Yeah.
like to point out that Kingsman also has puppies in it, so I mean, this is a good kinship.
Yeah,
If I like
exactly.
Kingsman,
Yeah.
I'll
so
like
what
John
you're
Wick.
saying is puppies are
Puppies and violence.
action movies are a good combination.
Yeah,
like this.
pretty much. But yeah, like I mean, it's interesting because like John Wick was such a simple movie.
Yes.
right. And then this one is
Simple movie, simple concept.
yeah, and this one is not
it's kinda like
not so
Taken
simple. This
in
one's
that
not
regard.
so simple,
Yeah,
but
this
it's also
one is wow.
yeah, but it still fits in. You know, it's kind of like have you seen The Raid? It's like an Indonesian movie.
Yes. I have.
Yeah, like The Raid 2, same sort of deal. Establish a world, establish a storyline, and then just go bigger with it, right? That's how you do a sequel.
Speaking of, well, it's not really a sequel, but Lego Batman, because you said that.
Oh, dude.
yeah, we talked
yes.
about it a little bit before,
Yeah.
and then
Not
you said
really a
it-
sequel.
Alfred's seen it.
I've seen it.
I've
seen
like,
it, yeah.
I think we've all seen Lego Movie. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
see Lego Batman. I think on Tuesday. I want to say. I'm excited.
Okay, so I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but it's okay. The fact that it's Lego Batman should tell you that it's still a pseudo sequel to the Lego movie.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot.
I just like that Will Arnett's still Batman.
Yeah,
He's gonna be
yeah,
good.
yeah. There's a bit of continuity and stuff, but I mean, like, okay, it's a Batman movie and it's Lego movie, so
I'm good with that.
Yeah, exactly. There are some surprises towards the end, and you'll love them.
And I feel
so,
like that
yeah.
the jokes will probably be a little bit better because they're going to be more cohesive jokes. Like I think a lot of like the jokes in Batman, sorry, in the
Like a
original
movie?
movie, not that they were bad, but they're a little bit more random and all over the place because
Yeah.
you're introduced to this
Yeah,
world
but-
that you don't know
yeah.
anything about. Number
Right.
one, and number two, it's like it's based off of the whole like creativity angle, so the jokes can come at you from anywhere.
But the thing was
It's
with
not
the
necessarily
Lego
a bad
movie,
thing,
though.
but it can be.
Right.
Like really well, like really dispersed. Whereas like the Batman audience knows what they're kind of going in for.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, but one of the things with the Lego movie is when I went and watched that for my very first time, I went and watched it in theaters, and I was like, okay, this is going to be a kids' movie. This is going to be kiddie jokes.
Yeah.
Watching that movie, my jaw hit the floor a couple times because I was like, this is a kid's movie?
Yeah.
What's going on?
No. It was also just like, okay, there's a self-aware humor
Yes.
there, right? There's all like the 80s Lego jokes, which I loved, right? But like, I mean, there's this kind of tongue-in-cheek kind of like atmosphere of the whole movie saying that this whole movie is just a kid playing with Lego and you don't like that. Right? You're not a human deep down, right? This joke is stupid. We know it's stupid. It's stupid because it's probably being told by the 12-year-old kid playing with the Lego set,
But not
right?
just that. Honestly, some of the jokes in the Lego movie were meant for the adults watching.
No,
the movie
exactly.
with
Oh,
kids.
there's always that in
totally. Yeah.
And
any
it was
kids
just
movie,
like, I am
Well,
so
any
happy
good kids movie.
watching this.
Yeah.
Because
But-
it was so entertaining for me.
So Lego Batman does that with like the same sort of deal, self-aware
With the
humor,
Batman theme.
but with a Batman theme, and
I'm
there-
down with that.
There's so many
I'm totally
in
down
jokes
with
to
that.
the old Batman movies, like all of them too.
Really?
Not even just the recent
there
ones.
nipple jokes?
All of them. I will not say anything.
There's nipple jokes.
there's going to be some icy puns.
Oh no.
And there's even some jokes about like some more recent memes and stuff. So yeah. So yeah. Other types of sequels.
Logan came out.
Logan.
Logan's coming out.
Okay, it's coming out.
The previews
Logan's
are out.
coming out
Previews-
in March.
Yeah.
The pre-screenings have started going out. People have been watching it. Positive ratings throughout.
Yeah, it's everyone's saying.
I like the first trailer a lot. I don't actually like the final trailer as
I
much.
haven't seen the final
The
trailer
second trailer with the like the kind of like the rock theme going throughout, and then like the
I'm not really sure if like I just there's some very obvious things that I just didn't really care about getting pointed out to me. Like when Xavier's like, she's like you, very like you, and I'm like, no shit,
claws.
She's
and
got
stuff.
claws and
Yeah.
she's agile and she heals. How could she possibly be like you with all that aggression?
Anybody who reads comics is like Logan X-23.
Yeah. No, I'm like.
I wonder how
this
could
couldn't
they be
possibly
related?
be like your daughter or your clone,
Dude, I'm like, no, the whole movie though gave me huge
Depending on
Last
which
of
angle you
Us,
wanna go for.
Last of Us vibes. You know,
Yeah.
like them riding.
It does have a good vibe like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
There's
and,
a,
like, I
there's
love-
a very us against the world
Yeah, and-
mentality.
Oh my god! And now that you guys mentioned that, I'm just like, I can't wait for Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
What does that really mean, though? The Last of Us 2? Is this like another Final Fantasy bullshit where it's like, oh, this is the Final Fantasy. This is the Final Fantasy 2.
And this is the Final Fantasy 3. Wait a second.
15 Final Fantasies later.
Oh man, if you want to talk about bad DLCs, whew.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about, oh, shit.
Bad DLCs.
Well, it wasn't okay. Fine, they added a sombrero hat and some chocobo stuff. Okay, cool.
Cucaracha.
But
How
still,
much was it though?
I don't even know. I didn't. I dished the game the moment I finished it. It was a good game, but I finished it. So anyways, Logan, it's previewing really well. Everyone's saying it's the best Wolverine movie so far, which really isn't that hard. But
It's not super hard to do, but I mean, at the same point, the fact that this movie is getting really good reviews, hopefully part of the people who are reviewing it are also the people who have read through the Old Man Logan comics and whatnot and seen that whole story.
I do have a
high
weird
hopes.
question, though.
yeah,
Like, I have a weird question. Like, so, and it doesn't really necessarily pertain to just, like, the X-Men franchise, for example, but because I'm going to bring in right now another example from, like, Star Wars. So, Carrie Fisher, as we know, passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a month and a half ago or so, at this point. And, you know, like, obviously, that was a sudden passing. But the truth is that the characters that are iconic actors for the role that they're in. So Logan by, you know, like Hugh Jackman and let's say Xavier. You could say like Tony Stark and all these other like, really iconic actors. What happens when they actually really do age out of their roles in such a way that you can't replace that iconic level? It's not the same thing as Batman, where Batman is like I would say that none of the Batman movies have an iconic Batman. An outright iconic Batman.
Here's
like
the
I always argue about like Val Kilmer is like a better Bruce Wayne than he is a Batman, for example.
Yeah.
George Clooney is a terrible Batman.
George Clooney's kind of a terrible
And then you
Batman
have-
and Bruce Wayne, but
But
okay.
you have Christian Bale who's a great Batman,
But a terrible Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. And so there's no
Yeah,
iconic. So that's fine that they can kind of move on and onwards. And you can look at 007 where Well, 007 has
They just
changed.
kind of don't like acknowledge the fact
don't
that they change actors, right?
Yeah, but they
Like,
also don't have like there's a thing where like you could have your favorite Bond, but there's also a thing where the tone of the movies have changed from like
Yeah.
a nice like from something that's a little
Kinda
bit
like
more
a cheat-
campy
like-
to a little bit
Yeah.
darker, and with the whole Daniel Craig years.
Yeah,
so
Daniel Craig's been a lot
that's
darker.
adapting with the times, right? Like that's a
Sure. Yeah.
It shows what kind of era that we live in, but with comic book characters who live in their own universe,
Yeah.
very much so, and they're constantly being recreated and stuff. But there are iconic characters. Like, you
there's ways
cannot
around
tell
it.
me that Robert Downey Jr. is not Tony Stark.
Yeah, there's ways around it though. I mean, like
Here's the thing, though. With the comic universe, though, you do have a get out of jail free card, essentially.
you do, right? Like
Because you have so
You
much.
kill off the character and you revive them, and they're a different person.
Well, not only
No.
that, it's because you have these worlds of magic, mysticism, powers. Literally, there's anything that can happen in these worlds that, if ever came a situation of, hey, we need to change this actor, as long as you choose a good actor to replace the previous one, you can work it in using
like-
something
and
part of
I'm
the
just
universe.
saying that
in mind,
like,
we're-
they
we're-
retcon the comics to change like
but
like
the
characters'
things-
faces.
But look,
Yeah.
it
to match the
happens.
movies.
It happens though, and this is if like we're going to be doubling down on comic book movies, which we are for a while now, right? We're going to have to double down on the storytelling tropes as well, right? I mean, like, okay, Batman to me is easy, right? Because there's been multiple Batmans. It's not always Bruce Wayne who's Batman, right?
This is true.
Tony Stark, right? It's not always Tony Stark who's Iron Man.
Yep.
Right, and there's and again, we're living in like the reboot age of like movie reboots, right? Wolverine might get rebooted with someone else who's not Hugh Jackman. It might be successful, it might not be.
It's kind of like
And X-Men itself has been rebooted.
Well, if you want to
right?
talk about
Spider-Man,
success,
have we
I was
had?
just
Yeah.
about to say like
3. Yeah.
Spider-Man is probably the best example of it, where it's like you thought you had like maybe a potential iconic actor for that role, and it turns out there's just like Toby is like he's all right, but he's not great. And then you had Andrew Garfield, who was all right, he was all right. Like Toby was a great Peter Parker.
Toby was a great Peter Parker, not so great of a Spider-Man.
And then Andrew Garfield is a great
was
Spider-Man.
Great Spider-Man, not,
Not
so
so
great.
Not so great. like there's this whole
and then
thing.
and then this new guy is probably going to nail it, though. I think, but
One
like,
would hope.
yeah.
I still have problems with that costume, though.
Oh, okay, sure, but
I just hate the that he can do the eye narrowing thing, and I don't really care so much. But it's just that there's that giant like eyeliner border.
Yeah,
where,
yeah.
like not all of it
Yeah.
narrows. It's just like the white part narrows, and it looks.
I
hilarious.
think
If all of it narrowed, I would have been okay with it.
yeah.
I'm pretty impressed by the Homecoming trailer though. Like the Homecoming trailer that came out a while
okay.
back.
Honestly,
yeah, like, I was pretty
I'm
impressed
looking
with it.
forward to it for the sole reason the newer stuff that keeps coming out, I am more excited for because they are doing a lot more research when they're doing these movies. Instead of before it used to be, yeah, we have this name, yeah, they got powers, okay, go.
Yep.
Just what are they doing with Aunt May? And why is she aging in reverse?
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't
Oh,
know.
God, that was no. I'm
I mean,
sorry.
I get it. Marissa Tomei is hot, and probably there's a sub storyline where like Tony Stark bangs her or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm not like, look, it's real, okay? But like, Aunt May does not have to be sexy.
yeah.
I'm not saying she can't be sexy. She doesn't need to be.
No,
Well, but again, comic books though. Holy crap! Every female character has
Look,
to have.
we're not all being drawn
no,
by
but the
Rob
best part
Liefeld.
about Aunt May was she was this older lady
Yeah.
who Peter took care of, and that was the biggest thing for
That
him.
was because like
He
it
was
makes,
always looking out for Aunt May on the side
because Uncle Ben was like first of all they're gone, but also because they're elderly. There's a real caring aspect to it.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like Marissa Tomei is like 40 maybe, and
Yeah.
she can
Well, I mean, and
she can
it's
find
weird.
her own way.
It's weird if you want to go with that look, right? Like, there's also other actresses who are very talented that could have filled that as well, right? I mean,
Meryl Streep.
I don't know.
Meryl
Okay.
Streep as Aunt May. You're
Oh,
like,
God.
Meryl Streep gets 5 minutes of screen time,
And on that note,
yeah, that's a great waste of talent. Speaking of great waste of talent, I'm so sorry, Scarlett Johansson.
okay, we're not going to talk about Ghost in the Shell because it's going to be terrible. Okay, so like we're done crapping
not
on.
gonna
We are
watch it.
done
Just
crapping
not
on that
gonna
movie. We're done with that.
I mean,
It hasn't even come out yet. We can't crap on it.
the original movie was good.
Yeah,
You mean when it was animated?
Yeah,
yeah. You should have stayed anime.
it should have stayed as an animated movie.
I'm probably going to watch it, but I don't know if I'm going to watch it in theaters.
Look, okay, I saw the CG opening sequence where they replicated like her being born, you
Yeah.
know, with like the tank and like the
that
skeleton.
looks like everything looks cool CG wise.
Yeah, but really, like, judging from the trailers, her delivery of the lines is terrible. The storyline looks to be terrible.
It looks bland.
It looks bland and generic.
It looks very, very.
Her performance looks phoned in. She looks dead on the inside at every press conference I've seen.
I think that's what she's supposed to go for. That's what I mean when she's like, she's a great actress, but she's like being told to be a bad actress. She's like Kristen Stewart at.
No, but look, you can be emotionally shut off and cold and still be convincing about it, right? Like, I'm sorry, like. This to me screams Anakin Skywalker in terms of like that type of performance, right? Like that.
I know some people can be mad at you for that.
Yeah, I know. But okay. To be fair, Hayden didn't have very good lines to work with. Scarlett probably has better lines, or has the star power, or has the star power to say this is a better line.
Yeah,
but just chooses not to, or just phones it in. We don't know. But still.
Maybe I'll just be entertained by it if I can just do what I did for like the Hobbit movies, which is just like forget that a book existed, which is really hard for me.
Forget a book existed.
Gonna be hard.
Forget the 3 Arise movies existed. Forget the 2 seasons of Standalone Complex existed. Forget Ghost in the Shell 2 and 1 existed. Forget the manga existed.
Yeah, just like
So
screw all of it.
Yeah,
right?
forget everything that is the reason why you're watching this in the first place.
Alzheimer's is your friend.
I'm not going to watch Ghost in the Shell. Sorry. So,
yeah, no, I'm probably. If
by some miracle,
way later.
If by some miracle it gets above 70% or something on Rotten Tomatoes, I'll go. But like, if by some miracle,
I'm not going to watch it in theaters.
I'm not going to watch it in theaters.
Yeah,
I'll watch it. It's just not going to be in theaters.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm getting tired.
Because that way I don't have to pay. If it ever comes out on Netflix, for example, right? I can just turn it off when I know it's already.
Yeah, I'm just getting tired of the fact that the industry right now is, let's play on nostalgia and release nostalgia everywhere.
But it's not even nostalgia for most people.
No, but that's the thing though. Ghostbusters, Ghost in the Shell, literally all the industry is doing is going back and being like,
it's powerful.
What did these people have before? Let's just re-release it.
No, but like, I mean, they could at least pay tribute or something. I don't know. Like Pacific Rim. That's a love letter to mecha anime, right? But it was its own thing.
But
it was its own thing. Exactly.
At least this is its own thing.
So yeah.
Anyways, that's pretty much all we have to say.
Well, I'm sure
because I think we're going on and on a little bit, but we're running out of time, and we definitely talked about a lot of stuff tonight.
A lot of different.
That was kind of on the heavier side, or very critical.
Huge variety.
Very critical
of topics.
But thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate it. That's episode 10. This is Jay.